Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about 10 things you should never take for granted in your life. Now the first one is time with your parents. Time with your parents is very precious because you never know when you might lose them. And as a matter of fact, if you're a parent, time with your child is also precious because you can never know when a car or anything bad could happen. Knock them down or so. The next thing you should never take for granted is being healthy. Or never take being healthy for granted. So, being sick. You know how many people in the hospitals really would wish if they were in your shoes right now? Healthy, walking around without any ailments. So don't take being healthy for granted. The next thing is reading a good book. You know, because life is so busy these days, it's so hard to sit down and have a chance to peacefully read a book. So don't take your opportunity to read a book in peace for granted. The next thing is watching the sun go down. Don't take your eyes for granted, and don't take those precious moments such as watching the sun go down for granted. There are many people who have lost their eyesight. Some people are in jail. They can't see the sun go down. So don't take those things for granted. The next thing you don't want to take for granted is a hot drink on a cold or rainy day with the one you love. That's a very key thing to mention because not very often we get those days. So when they do come, don't take it for granted. Another thing that you should never take for granted is a thought-provoking conversation. Now, nowadays when everybody's so busy and some people are so caught up in themselves, it's very hard to have a good conversation because some people are so arrogant and they only think that their point is the only point that should be made. It's good to have a good conversation with somebody who's, well-thinking and knowledgeable. So don't take those moments for granted. Another thing you should never take for granted is access to the internet. Nowadays, it's so hard to go without our phones. But when times come and internet is not available, it can be very difficult and annoying. So don't take having internet for granted. Another thing you should never take for granted is those I love my life moments. Depending on your life, it might come very often. Some people it might come very few or irregularly. But don't take your I love my life moments for granted because some people out there, they're contemplating suicide, things are not going well for them, they're highly in debt. So when things are going well in your life, don't take it for granted. And for being such a good audience, I want to give you a bonus. But before I give you the bonus, the last one is freedom to worship your God, or God, because I believe on only one God. So don't take freedom of worship lightly, because in some countries, worshiping freely is a crime. So don't take being able to worship God Almighty for granted, because you never know what lies in the future. And last one, the bonus one, is peace and quiet. Don't take those things for granted, especially in our society where everybody loves noise, everybody wants to entertain the whole city or play their music loudly. Don't take peace and quiet for granted. And speaking of peace and quiet, don't take peace for granted. When there's no crime going on in your community or nobody terrorizing you at your home, or even if you and your partner are at peace, don't take those moments for granted. And unity. Don't take unity for granted as well. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you learned something from my video. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. God bless.